Okay, hold on. Let me take these pictures back. All right. We're going to go into this from the beginning. I don't know why it always does that. The minute I start off, pardon me here, but the minute I start off with a video, if I have like the pictures in the background, it automatically just started off, which I probably shouldn't have had there in the first place. I could have just, put it up like this and then dropped it in. But I think even when I drop it in, it does the same thing, right? So as you can see, did 50
Cent, where he goes, did 50 Cent. Hold on, I don't know if this shit sounds good. Hold on, let me try a different voice. I got a voice modifier. So anyway, did 50 Cent sell his soul to the devil?
That's the question that we are asking today. Right. Anybody who know me, I mean, when Power of a Dollar came out, I was messing with 50 Cent heavy. Before he got shot, I knew 50 Cent was gonna be something when I heard him on what are these dudes? Onyx, right? And they had a song called React. It was like a hockey scene and all of that. And 50 Cent was on there. And I told myself from then, yo, this dude is nice. Right? He wasn't flowing the way he flow now, but I knew, in the words that he was saying and all of that, that he was official. Like, I was gonna be messing with him. So I don't want anybody to think, like I'm taking attacks on them or anything like that. It's just the facts. Like once you see certain things, it's time for you to ask yourself, like, what's going on here? Right? Is 50 Cent or did 50 Cent sell his soul to the devil? Or does he really think that his message, like with him and his son's mother and all of that. So as he's giving this message that, you know, um, the black woman is putting this wedge between the black man and his child. Now, that message might be getting out, but there's a greater message being given that while he's trying to get one message out, I think he's missing, the greater damage that's being portrayed on not just the black woman and the black man, but the black unit as a whole, right? And so this is where hypnotism comes in, mesmerism, where we know, on this show that we talked about, it deals with suggestion, right? I done many shows on this. This is basically where you come to learn that stuff. This is what I talk about. This is where I talk about how they are getting the people to move in a certain direction. So as we go on, all you gotta do is just check out any of them other shows, and this will make sense as I'm dealing with, 50 Cent and selling out to.
The devil. Yes.
Okay, so let's go in here. Let's bring up, right, the pictures in the background here. As you can see, I got my, old York gritty. Don't forget to hit that like button, that, subscribe, and that notification bell so you can get notifications of whenever the show is on air. Right? So, Raising Kanan, book three, right? Well, Power book three, Raising Kanan. Now, this is on Stars, right? And so, 50 has been making all of these, different books, right? These different powers, right? And when you seen, I think it was like the one before Raising Cain, it was like Power Book Two, where you seen Cain, older Canaan, but you knew that that was supposed to be 50 Cent, right? You knew that already, right? So as you look at this, and if you know 50 Cent's history, with his moms, in the game, the whole what was that movie? Was it Power of a not it was Get Rich or Die Trying, right? I don't really watch a lot of these urban movies, the hip hop movies, like none of them. I don't know them. So, forgive me if I don't be knowing the names to them. I don't really watch the suggestions that they give us within these shows. So I'm like, I'm always out of tune. I never seen The Corner, The Wire, like none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I seen Colors. I think Minister Society was like the last that I seen. I love Boys in the Hood because I felt it was more universal, right? But Minister Society was like horrible to me. To me, you know what I mean? As far as its suggestions, and then when you turned around and you seen it, in a street form, so you can look at what they suggest, and if you're not engulfed in it, you can step back and see how this effect is working on the people, right? So, as here, like you can see in the background, you see 50 Cent here. This, well, to me, this is supposed to be, 50 Cent, right? As a youth, right? So, and it's like this understanding of how he became this way, throughout his journey. So when we go here and we look at, you know, these are the main players, right? These are the main players. So I'm gonna give you a breakdown of all of the people. Well, the major characters and how the suggestion that you get from each one of these characters and what does that mean to our people as a whole who becomes engulfed in TV as being real and this show is real. The suggestion of that and how that plays a part in what you see today in the news, right? Because I was looking at there's an article, right? Hold on a minute, let me see if I can pull this up. Um, oh yeah, they arrested the guy in Chicago who ran over the people at the bar. But it's something I'm looking for here, real quick. Hold on, let me see which one. Um, let's see where is it at. My fault here. It's an article where the guy he was basically kidnapped by this lady, right, and held, in a hotel room at gunpoint, right, and so from yeah, where we at? I want to pull the article. I'm gonna actually do a show on it later, but I wanted to um bring it up in here if I can find it. I have a lot of articles here. Anyway, all right. Inside this article, it just made me think of what I did in the last show. I did a show when I was basically talking about the righteous person, and the situations that people are put in, and how I'm not the type of person to care if it's a man, woman, or child. If you do certain things, there's going to be an outcome of it. And so from that article and, the show, I was like, let me talk about Cain, raising Canaan, because this plays a major part in what you see today as this, oh yeah, here we go right here. All right, so let me pull this up. All right. Just to show you the article real quick. Let me pull up my desktop real quick. All right, and it says, all right, hold on. Man held hostage. Let me take me away. It goes, man held hostage for hours and robbed at gunpoint after meeting woman from dating app. As you can see, this was just 6 hours ago, right? So, with that, information there, I was like, damn, let me talk about this growing trend that is happening within our community, right? And I remember posting like probably like 8 months ago, I started posting about, in less than 10 years, there will be more black women in prison than there are men. Because this is the promotion that you are getting with an impact, even though people might go, oh, that's just one show. No, not understanding the dynamics and how it bombards you in many different shows is how you miss the point. And people will hit you with, nobody is caught up in that. But suggestion doesn't happen from just one show or one song. It's the bombardment and those who stand beside you and also promote this suggestion, right? So as we go on, like I said, I want to, bring in, the people of the show. Let's go here. Now, as you see, this young, I don't know his name, you know what I'm saying? I don't know his name, right? But as you see, he is supposed to reflect as 50 Cent, right? And like I said, if you know 50 Cent's story, you know that, he from Queens and he was, his mother was a drug dealer and whatnot. So this allows him to bring his fantasy to life. How he viewed his mother, if she was this big boss or not, or whatever the case may be, right? Not to say that that wasn't true. Not to say that there's never these females who didn't have this this pull, right? We know Griselda and all of that stuff. We know that there are people who in the female, sector who was holding it down, right? But these promotions right now is giving this whole detail. This lady, she like, like a buck 50 tops. I don't even think a buck 50. She very light. So I'm gonna say like a buck 20. You know what I'm saying? And she talking to these people as if, they know she's using this male slang and all of this, and they are these submissive workers, and she's just this brain comes up with this operation moving out the projects and, moving these drugs out the projects, and she's this brain child, and these people are under her. I grew up in the streets, from a very young age. Anybody who knows me will tell you, yes, I really was in the streets. Not a drug dealer, big drug dealer, all of that, but a universal person who did many different things. I've never ran across this. I've never seen this in my life. And I've been round bricks and all of that type of stuff. You know what I mean? So I don't know this image that I'm getting, but like I said, it could be an individual, and somebody could say, most people would co-sign it because they trying to live or make something out to be what it ain't. But any real person that tells you that this is suggestion, this is leading, it's like how they did with Predator. They made Prey, where you know Arnold Schwarzenegger and all of these people, but then you go to this primitive form, but you still got this high tech alien, and there's this woman who's the one. Like I said, I'm not a feminist. I mean, a male chauvinist or none of that, but I understand the feminist agenda. So I understand how putting yourself in situations that are not true because you own the industry that can promote it to the youth. So what they're teaching, which I don't mind, if they wasn't teaching our black youth to once again stay in this criminal um destructive mindset, but now it ain't this toxic male, it's becoming this toxic female, right? That's what the promotion is now. This toxic female being promoted while arguing against the toxic male. Anybody who speaks out on this, oh, you a chauvinist, you this, you that, right? So you can't even speak out on this now. You just got to accept it as for what it is, and that's just that, right? So me, I'm speaking out on it because I'm seeing it unfold, and because I know what hypnotism and mesmerism is, and I understand Freemasonry and how it works through storytelling. Right, that's its number one thing through this storytelling form. Right, now it's not its number one, but that's how it appeals to the masses, right? Through this storytelling form. So as we go on, keep that in mind as you watch shows, as you watch any movie or show, and you step back and you see how many shows and movies and radio, promote the message. That's how you know if it's a part of this Freemasonic promotion, because it won't be necessarily within one show. So when you hear people pointing out one show, yes, you can see it in there, but if you was really keen, you would see it in the universal form, the bombardment from all of these different areas. That's how it truly works, right? So, like I said again, you see 50 Cent and you see like it's supposed to be this similarity. This guy is supposed to be 50 Cent, right? So, as we go on, now, this is where I say 50 Cent is thinking that his message is powerful, meaning that, here go, Omar Epps. I'm saying, I'm looking at Omar Epps and this as an older 50 Cent. This is, 50 Cent when he's now the father, right? And he is trying to be in his child's life, but this toxic female is not letting him be. And not only is she not letting him be, she is training her son through deception to kill the father, right? So her lie can be held, and I'm going through that. You know what I'm saying? Anybody know, my situation with my son? I'm going through literally, the same thing without getting shot part yet. But, I'm around, I had a child with a person who was very deceptive and told lies and this, that, and the third. So, in order to keep those lies, I see the same thing must be performed. cater to the person, even when you can see he really doesn't want to be a part of it. He doesn't want to be, Cain does not want to be a part of this destructive system, but he does not want to let her down. Right. So in this, we see this same message being portrayed. We know 50 Cent, his problems, with his son. I believe his name is Marcus, right? And so we understand this same promotion being given right now. So this, like I said, when I see Omar Epps, I'm seeing an older 50 Cent, not being able to be, not only not being able to be in his child's life, but also, you know, um, being a victim of the lie to the point that he winds up getting shot by his son because the mother does not want the truth to be out. And many men are going through that same cycle, right? So as we go on, let me point out the different characters. Now, Mano in this show was actually the only, not the only, but one of, like three characters that I actually respect. He's like, yo, he's trying to do his own thing. He see his sister, he like, yo, listen, don't even approach me on that sucker shit. Don't come at me like I'm one of these, herbs like my brother. He a herb. You know what I'm saying? He might, um I remember a song, when he was talking about, his uncle and something about like, and like being this like, I don't know, like this corny type of dude. So when I see Raising Kanan, I think of that song, and I think of the other brother being the person he's describing in the song, and this is like the uncle that was G. Like he like, yo, listen, you know what I'm saying? I'm about my business, but you ain't gonna get me caught up in your little corny shit. You know what I mean? So hold on. Right now, again, this is Joey Badass, I believe, right? And I actually respect his role too. His role reminds me like he's supposed to be supreme. Right, even though like, so they had to throw it off. Like it ain't the drug dealer, as the father. It's the cop as the father. But this is what I see as the the supreme role, like this drug dealer or whatever the case may be, and so they catering to that imagery, you know what I mean? So it's like switching the roles to make it all of it you know happen simultaneously, you know what I mean? So it's like you know these stories, but you're putting them all on the same playing field. So when I look at Joey Badass role, I think of Supreme. Not to say that I respect Supreme or something, but I understand this image of what I knew the 80s 90s drug dealers to be. So it wasn't this, these female. I mean, they were manipulative in the background. Sure, they was, if you were to say they was controlling it through, being in a nigga ear and causing problems. Shit, I could agree with that 100%. I can't deny that 100% because I tell people all the time, like 80% out of the conflicts that you saw in the in any time period was always those wicked type of females, just like the one who, got the young kid killed up in the, what was that, the Bronx, I believe it was. Like it was just all of these incidents where you could see that being the reality. Background using these suckers, to cause conflicts. So yes, but never this, not just like I said, I know, some females, who hustled with me and did their thing, but I didn't know them to be the bosses, like this, this. I mean, like I said, they was moving and doing their own thing in their circles, but I did not know them. Being my mom, went to jail for like a brick and stuff like that, but she wasn't the boss. She was with somebody else and doing transportation and stuff like that. So I don't know this story, like I said, and I know the streets. I just told you, my mom's, you know what I'm saying, went to jail, moving, work, and all of that stuff. But I don't, so this is from somebody who understands it. I do not know this image of that they're given as if, but like I said, this could be an individual, but it's painted in a way to where it's given a suggestion. And that's when my beef is. If it was just this one show and whatever, but it's not. This is why I said, did 50 Cent, sell his soul to the devil by using his show to add to this movement, getting their message out through this programming, right? So then, so like again, this is like another picture of, them two, whatever the case may be. But this is like I did from the last season. This ain't from this season. I just wanted to put that in there. Right? Um, and like I said, as you see again, you see this mother, being there, but she's raising these people to be her flunkies, even when they don't want to. Both brothers ain't really with it. The son ain't with it. But through this manipulation, right, they are all getting caught up in this system of a web of lies, all under this feminist um misguidance through the mind of the people, through the males mainly, right? So then we go, oh, not him, right? What is his name? Lonnie, something like that. He is the simp of simps for me. Like he's the one who they make seem like he can't succeed. He doesn't have this intelligence, and so he will do whatever his sister says because he sees in her what he doesn't see in himself. And so you have to watch this. He has problems with his daughter in this show. I believe he had choked her out last show or something, but I know like, they haven't been talking, right? And so as we go on, we're gonna, bring that up. But I just wanted to point him out as well, like somebody I definitely do not respect in this show at all. Right? And what's her name? Um I forgot her name. Bird lead singer. I know she's the singer, right? But the thing about her, right, in the episode that just came on, she was talking about her mother. Again, we see if you pay attention to a lot of these, especially black shows, the mothers are the ones who are now abandoning the children. Not to say that this is new though. This is not new. The dropping off, back in the days, the having the babies and dropping them off and with the auntie and all of that down south and this, that, and the third. This is not new, but the way it's being portrayed, like this is what's going to be the fashion. Even when I was watching The Shy, right? The mother, she was this drug user now. Because remember, like, we was bombarded with, the fathers, the fathers, the fathers. So now, as they're switching it over to the women, they're also switching them over to be the deadbeats, the missing figure, and these type of things. That's how suggestion works. So when I talk about this, I'm not necessarily talking about the show like itself, but it's universal promotion, like I said, through other shows as well. That's how you can be able to tell. But the problem is the youth, which these shows are being geared towards, will not be able to distinguish it if somebody doesn't sit down and point this out to them. Remember, the youth today are being neglected by, this system, right, of the father, right, while giving this new promotion of this mother figure who is not. And so her mom's, had abandoned her supposedly, I don't know, right? And how Kanan's mom was giving these excuses and logic for it, and even saying, oh, how she can respect it, right? She understood this, that, and the third. So inside of that is the suggestion, right? Then, we get into the show. It opens up with, him, basically being told to come back up, to the city. Everything is clear, even though his father is alive, which he don't know, but she's like, oh yeah, you good. You can come back now, right? Sending him, even though the aunt and all of that is like, yo, listen, if this situation that he was in was no good, how is it all of a sudden in a short period of time, he's good? He doesn't really want to go back up there. He actually likes it, with his like he actually likes it with his aunt. Right. So these are, and his cousins and this, that, and the third, and how he's actually telling his little cousins, yo, if he could, he would stay there. This is a good place. And anybody who's from the city, New York and stuff like that. I'm not saying New York because that's where I was raised, but when I went down south for the first time, that's exactly how I felt. I never, had this desire to go back up to New York. That's why I was always out of New York. You know what I'm saying? Like always out. Like I would go back because New York is a place, if you know business right at that time before Amazon and all of that, if you wanted to get your supplies and take them OT, places like New York and Cali and Chicago and these hubs, that's where you go and you're not just drugs. I'm saying like it could be clothing, whatever the case may be. So you got the fashion district up in New York, right? So with that fashion district, and if you know how to get around, you can go get this stuff and take it anywhere you want, and be able to you know um profit, because you're not gonna, you getting it for a cheap place. But if you in a place where everybody can get it for that, you're not gonna make the same amount of money if you go to a one stop like town. So this is why New York was always for me a place for me to go. It was like a place for me to go due to the fact that it's a hub and I'm a hustler. So if you are hustling, like I said, this is way beyond drugs. I used to sell CDs and DVDs, sneakers, whatever the case may be. I knew where to go get it at a certain price and be able to take it to wherever I'm residing at that time, and, make, profit. So this is beyond drug dealing. Though that's a small, not to say it's small in itself, but that's small when it comes to a hustler. A hustler is not limited, right? So, once again, then we see this, this hugging up my baby she with her man on the beach. You know what I'm saying? This is what's being promoted subliminally, to the psyche, right? And like I said, so we see once again that's, oh, let me take me away. We see her now, back in the projects now. At this point, he's getting on the elevator, but then she's so gangster, that nobody wants to get on the elevator with them, and it's like there's this portrayal, that I don't really have a problem with. Like I said, if it wasn't a universal thing, if it just came from one direction, cool. But this is universally being taught to the people. And I'm concerned for, the young black ladies, the older ones who grew with their hate and all of that, that's their business. I know some people, like I said, my son's mother, man, they grew into that, mindset. So, it may be because of these suggestions and things like that. So I don't know, but for me, talking for those who are not aware, the youth who are coming up and what they will be getting from this same system. Less than 10 years, more black women will be in prison than black men if this continues in this way. That's what I'm addressing, right? So, this is, right, the scene where, you know, Marvin, that's his name, right? That's this guy right here, right? That's his daughter, right? I forgot her name. I haven't got it yet. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it, right? They don't even talk, right? He had choked her out or something like that, and this is after or before the conversation about her moms, right? She's talking this unit and how, they all together and while she's promoting this teaching, she's also raising her son to kill his own father. The hypocrisy inside of this is amazing. That's why you see, Mano over here. I don't know. I forgot his name in the show, but like I said, I do respect him because he's above and beyond the bullshit. Whether it be his sister, whether it be, the chick that he was dating, but still, even if he had beef with her, he's still looking out for her brother because those are two different elements. That's why his role is one of the realest roles on that show, in my personal opinion. Everybody else is these, flunkies. So if we gonna imagine somebody, that's the person that I'm backing on the show. I'm not even, like I said, he's trying to get into the music industry and know those type of things. So these are the things that I'm not supporting the music industry, but understanding, the attempting to not only leave, but not be manipulated by the manipulators. Right, so I respect him on that. But like I said, this part right here was really just addressing like, wait a minute, you are talking this family values. Wow, your son is just coming back in town because you convinced him to kill his father. And then you're gonna tell him, if he approaches you, he might, but don't believe him. And right, because she's trying to get in front of her lie. Right? She's like, oh, I don't even know if you the father. He like, on my apps, like, yo, listen, I took a test. I know he's my son. She was saying it was supposed to be some other drug dealer or whatever the case may be. but this is, like I said, the overall message. And so I got a question, 50 Cent. Like, did you sell your soul to the devil? Meaning that while you wanted to get, your plight out with your son and those type of things, did you allow this feminist movement, because I believe your writers are a bunch of women, right? Did you allow them to still push their agenda? Right? So, like I said, we see right here, Mano, her, like I said, like maybe if she was like larger, be like in weight. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that, there ain't no slim thugs and all of that. I mean, like I said, I know some females who get busy, but most of them, I don't know. I just never seen, this characteristic. So I just feel like this is the promotion of negativity. You know, the niece, with her and the homegirl, the white girl, the lesbian, like the promotion that they are given is they have to put that into our system. Either we are the gay man or the lesbian. We have to have that in our system. And so this is where I say yes, 50 Cent, stars, power, raising Kanan and all of that has play and is playing a major role in the misguiding of our people. Right, so you see, as I put them there, you see, this old boy right here, he the junkie, and this, that, and the third. I mean, like I said, I find, even, as like I tell people, I don't identify as Latin, but my grandmother was Cuban. You know what I'm saying? Always said she was Jamaican too. That's how much I've always separated myself from, Latin, and I mean Latin as a culture, not as a people, not, Cubans or Puerto Ricans. Like, I identify with many of them as my fellow, counterpart. I'm saying Latin as in, the Spaniards and their dominance, and how, they have this grasp on the people too. They're Caucasians. You know what I'm saying? Just a different language in the Caucasian, European, area. That's it, right? We just over in America see Spanish as, Latino, and Latino, as these, olived or whatever skinned, and so we don't see the European in that. Right, you have to watch Telemundo and all of that to understand. You know what I'm saying? The technology within the Latino, Latin culture, should I say, right? So, like I said, then as you could see, Omar apps, and they're not together in this picture, but, just going back on this raising of, the son, right? In this form, it would be 50 Cent's son. So, when he's the father, it's like, these different elements of 50 Cent. So, when Kane reaches his father, the police, now it's not 50 Cent no more, it's his son, and the police becomes him. This struggle of being inside of his son's life. So it's like, you know, for me, I feel like this is where his part wanted, as far as, okay, I'm being represented, and not understanding what is really being suggested. Like I said, take the time to look up what suggestion is. Take the time to learn hypnotism and mesmerism. And then from there, anything that I'm saying or anything that you seeing, you should have a clearer understanding of, because you understand hypnotism, mesmerism, and suggestion. I'm always keep saying that through these shows that I'm doing in order for people to really take the time and look that up, understand what that really is and what it and how it plays a major part on you, right? So then we go to the next pick here. Oh, and and from this is also pointing out power, the same thing. What was her name? Tasha, right? Tasha, let me take, you can see it right here, right? You seeing Tasha training her son once again to have this gripe with his father, and winds up what? Killing him. So the routine of this information, while it seems like, yeah, sure, he's giving this message, he does not. I'm gonna try to cape for him. I don't want to, but I'm gonna say, he 50 Cent in this case does not understand the psychological message, right? Because he's thinking, okay, well, at least my message is getting out that the women are doing this, when, that's only a part of the message. The real message is for the men to remain subservient to the female. And I'm gonna do shows on that where this is where you get spirituality. Spirituality is to make the male subservient. That's why whenever you see these woke dudes, they always have this feminine mentality, and they always promote these things, even if they try to give this rugged appeal. Not to say, the gays are not, rugged. Shit, there's killers and all of that in all forms. Everybody is not dainty. You know what I mean? Or zesty or whatever they say now. You know what I mean? But to understand that is only one part of the problem. The real message is to become subservient. I'm gonna do a show on spirituality and giving a breakdown and prove once again it is hypnotism and mesmerism, it is suggestion, and it is feminine. Right, I'm gonna do all of that. Actually, I'll probably do it later on or something like that. I got some time, so I'll probably do that later on. And so, with that, I want you to see and I want you to understand what is being taken place. Right, that's the end. I could take it back. Put my Hold on a minute here. Um, right? Put it back on my stars, raising Cain, so we can end out with that. I'm happy I got this done in under an hour. So I could be a little long winded and whatnot. So, with that being said, like I said, I hope, we understand that, like I said, for one, I don't necessarily have a problem with, 50 Cent, right? I have a problem. Do I have a problem with raising Kanan? Yes, I do. Do I have a problem with the whole Power series? Yes, I do. Do I feel 50 Cent, being in a financial bind, allowed his face and name to promote this type of agenda? Yes, I do. If you ask me, this is all part of that agenda. I was saying if I had a little time, before my thing came back up. But I'm a slide up out of here. Don't forget to hit that like. Don't forget to hit that subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell for notifications. This is your boy Juice Wanna. This is Old Jaw Gritty, and this is, did 50 Cent sell his soul to the devil? Yes, he did. Peace.